guy as a young man had a dream to become a big movie star, to come to Hollywood and to become a great director and producer and a writer, and all those kind of dreams he had. Of course, everyone told him it can't be done. But he wouldn't take no for an answer. And he had this idea of writing a script. And in longhand, he wrote this script, which was Rocky. The rest is history.
I used to sit in this little apartment, and it was a room. As a matter of fact, the room was so small, I remember I was able to open up the window and close the door while sitting on the bed at the same time. It was like 8 feet by 8 feet by 9 feet. But the one thing about that room, there was really very little distraction. So I would sit there propped up in bed, and I'd go out with my big pen and legal pad and just start writing these stories. And most of them were very, very trivial. But there was something about the process of unrealized dreams. I was always brought back to this subject because I think it's one of the most enduring subjects and one of the most difficult passages for people to accept, that they never were realized in their own lifetime, that they just didn't get that shot.
I've been coming in for 6 years, and 6 years you've been sticking it to me. I want to know how come.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I want to know how come.
You want to know?
I want to know how.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Because you had the talent to become a good fighter. And instead of that, you became a leg breaker. Some cheap, second-rate loan shark.
To living?
It's a waste of life.
Eventually, after Lords of Flatbush, I decided it was time to come to California. So I went to California, and I moved to the Valley, and things weren't going very, very well there. As a matter of fact, I had to go and try to sell my dog because it was either do that or he just was not going to be very well fed around the house. And then one night, I went to see Muhammad Ali fight Chuck Wepner.
Not concerned with the left jab at all, he just takes them.
And what I saw was pretty extraordinary. I saw a man they called the Bayonne Bleeder who didn't have a chance at all against the greatest fighting machine, supposedly, that ever lived.
Money back, slips a punch to his left. Oh! A vicious shot to the rib of Muhammad Ali. And
one brief moment, this supposed stumble bump turned out to be magnificent. The fact that he lasted and knocked the champion down. I said, boy, this is a metaphor for life. His entire life crystallized at that moment. He will be remembered for all eternity, at least among the fight fans. He did something extraordinary. I said, that is probably what I need as a catalyst, an idea. A man who's going to stand up to life and take one shot and maybe go the distance. So I started to write. I first met Bob Shardoff and Irwin Winkler, and I believe I was there on a casting call. So we're talking a little bit, and I guess I really wasn't right for the acting part. And on the way out, I said, oh, I don't know if it matters, but I do a little bit of writing. He goes, really? I said, yeah, as I'm writing this story, I have this thing about wrestlers, and I might do something about boxing. Well, he says, well, bring it around. And I thought, if I hadn't stopped on the way out, that's why I tell all actors or writers, don't give up, keep talking. Eventually you might hit a nerve. Originally, when I brought the script to them, they were fairly enthusiastic about it. The one thing they were not enthusiastic about was me playing the part, and I really can't blame them. At the time, Ryan O'Neal was a candidate, Burt Reynolds, Robert Redford, Jimmy Caan, and they all were at the top of their game. And so I could see it, but there was something inside of me that this opportunity is never going to come around. And I really wasn't used to money, and I had no idea of what I would be missing. But the temptation started to come forward. First it was $25,000 and $100,000. Because I had like $106 in the bank, and like I said, I had to sell my dog, and things were not looking very, very good. My $40 car had just blown up, so I was taking a bus to work. But still, it didn't matter. I wanted to stick with it. Then it went up to $150,000, $175,000, it went up to $250,000. Now my head was starting to spin, and it went up to $330,000, and probably I heard it went up to $360,000. I thought, all right, you've really managed poverty very well. You've got this down to a science. You really don't need much to live on. I had like sort of figured it out. So I was not in way used to the good life. So I thought, you know what? If I know in the back of my mind, if I sell the script and it does very, very well, I'm going to jump over the building. If I'm not in it, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to leap in front of the train. I'm going to be very, very upset. So this is one of those things where you just roll the dice and you fly by the proverbial seat of your pants. All right, I got to try it. I got to just do it. I may be totally wrong, and I'm going to be taking a lot of people down with me, but I just believe in it. We didn't have really the money to shoot a normal union film at that time in Philadelphia, so we would travel in a van. I would jump out of the van, and we were working with the handheld camera at the time with Garrett Brown, and it was somewhat experimental. And he'd film me running through shopping malls and up down the steps and flights, curved corridors along the river, until finally my legs basically gave out, and I'm like writhing on the ground, and I want to rise up and say, John, I'm dying here. And he goes, no, use it. Use the pain. I said, for what? I mean, I'm in misery. Because, no, you know, it's giving your character, it's giving him some depth. I said, it's giving me bruises. It's giving me, like, agony. I can't sleep at night. But, you know, John would use, one thing about John, he would use the environment. If you saw, like the scene where we just jumped down and saw this ship along the dock, this docked along the pier, and said, just jump out, run as fast as you can along the ship, and I'm running and running. I said, you know what, my legs are buckling. I'm literally going to crash down here. Teeth are going to go, jaw, face. I'm just going to be ground down to this flat-faced image. Please. And I just barely made it, because John he would have me run and jump park benches and down streets, and people are throwing things at me. Like when I had the orange thrown at me, and these people had no idea who I was. And then when I was hitting the meat, I thought, this would be an interesting visual, hitting the meat. Well, I don't know if anyone's hit a bull lately. They're hard. They're real hard. So all my knuckles are flattened out. They just became, I guess, kind of like, well, I don't know what they're good for anymore. I guess, you know, kind of like a table leg now. They're pretty flat, they're pretty even. They really don't function as a hand much anymore, but these are all somewhat of the memories. Rocky never expected to win. Never. He knew it. He was that much of a realist. And I like admired the character for that, because so often I had gone to fight films or sporting films. Yes, we're going to go out there, we're going to knock him out, we're going to win. I said, no, not really. At the very end of our lives, if we can still say, you know, we were never humbled, we were knocked down, but we got up, and I can say, I lived life with integrity, and I took all the blows, as the song says, and that's what I tried to capture in this film. But more importantly, I also realized that you can't be alone. To really succeed, no man really is an island. And when you find the right components in your life, the right people that gel with you, then you feel as though you're invincible. It may be a fallacy, but you at least feel as though you can take all that life has to dish out. It was being shown at the Directors Guild, and this was going to be the test. And there was about 900 people invited, and it was a packed crowd, and the movie was playing terrible. My mother was sitting next to me, and the laughs weren't coming with us both through, and the fight itself seemed to be listless, the response was, and I sat there as everyone filed out of the theater, and I couldn't believe it. I said, Mom, I really blew it. It was all like, I don't know, it was nice while it lasted, but I guess when you get down and you show it to the big boys, they're just not buying it. Anyway, I sat there and literally, there was no one left in the theater, because I was humiliated and saddened by the whole thing. And even, you know, I walked her out, and I was walking down the steps, and there's 3 flights down, first flight, second flight, and then by the time I turned for the 3rd flight, the entire audience was down there. There was 900 people waiting, and they started to applaud, and I mean truly applaud. And I said, how could you doubt me, Mom? I'm shocked. And it's like, I just completely came apart. And so there'll never be a moment like that ever. I mean, I truly was over. This is it. I'm just gonna go back home, take my dog, go back into, you know, trying to eke out a living. And they were all there. And they responded in a way. It's like, I don't know if that's the way they did things in Hollywood, but they saved it up, and I'll never get over that moment. I just looked at all these people, and they were applauding. And it's been all downhill.
I remember that we watched the movie at home, and he looked so fantastic and did such extraordinary things. And I was watching it with my wife that actually I had to close my wife's eyes. He was in such great shape. I was getting jealous there for a little bit because she was saying, "Oh my God, look at his abs. Oh my God, look at his back. Look at his biceps. Look how great he moves. Look what a sexy guy he is," and all those kind of things. I said, "Maria, relax," and I closed her eyes. But anyway, it is really amazing. What this film doesn't show is that his movies grossed almost $2 billion altogether. 36 movies that he's done grossed almost $2 billion. And of course, he's an outstanding director, outstanding writer and producer. I mean, he's such a multi-talented guy, but that's not...
Very good. Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say it's great having earned $2 billion, but not as good as you. I think you're up to $3 billion, so I'm still in his shadow. It's been a fantastic life. I really started off with very, very few physical attributes, but I knew I wanted to be better than I was, and I was just looking for an outlet, an example. And believe it or not, when they say that films don't influence people's behavior, that's not true. When I did walk into the theater and saw Steve Reeves, it changed my life. I went outside and started lifting everything I could. Like, you know, I'm telling you, it was truly a seminal moment in my life. Importantly, you know, I truly believe, and people throw the word around dreams. It's all about dreams, you know. And by the way, dreams cost nothing; they're free. The hard part is just keeping them going, and please keep them going, because we're here for one simple reason. He believed in the dream, I believed in the dream, and our dreams come true, and there's no reason every one of yours can't either. Thank you very much.